Hey guys, this is Washing Central. Well, after the candy threw this insane wobbly, about, actually, I think it was Wednesday or Thursday. So, yay, finally, we got rid of it. And guess what we got now? A Hotpoint WMFUG 1063P, meaning polar white. So it's 10 kilogram maximum capacity, 1,600 RPM maximum speed. It's absolutely insane. An inverter motor, so it's ridiculously quiet. It's currently on the auto clean program with a very small load, just because, well, it's just some rags and things that I really needed to get clean from the garage, because I've quite recently been working on the washer dryer, sanding it, getting it all nice and finished, but it still needs quite a bit more work. But anyway, so this is the drawer, and yes, I have the liquid thing, even though I'm not even going to be using it because I don't even use liquid. But I don't know, maybe I might use liquid at some point. But I do like how it fits in. It's got like a little port here, which, if you ask me, is quite a good design, because it sort of lets everything kind of flow out if it doesn't go over. So it's pretty good. The complete program list is 16 programs. A lot of the, well, actually no, it's 17, along with the auto clean, which is sort of an optional extra if you want something really intensive. But yeah, I think it's one of the coolest, literally it's one of the coolest machines I've ever had in this house. And, oh boy. Well, it does have a latch. It doesn't have the traditional door lock. It's got a keyed lock, so it's not like a regular door handle at all, where it pulls outwards to open it with soften the ball, with sort of a latch that moves. It's got sort of a key which stays stationary, and you pull the door outwards to unlatch it, which is quite nice. And yes, I did do my little bit of research by looking over the cycle list and a few other things, and I did watch a YouTube video which was a Cotton's program. Can't remember what temp. I don't even care about it, because the only thing I wanted to see was how quiet it was, and it is. And I must admit, swirling suds at 1600 RPM has never looked so cool. It's never looked as awesome as this. And, well, even though this cycle only hits 800 RPM, I might end up shooting a video at some point of it smacking 1600 RPM straight in the face. So, yeah, it's a lot of fun doing loads with this. Oh, and by the way, you've got a variable temperature, completely variable, not, 90, 60, 40, 30, 20 cold, like the candy, or like Zach, or like Zanussi ZWC 1301. No, you've got 90, 70, 60, 40, 30 cold on program 3. But I think the auto clean program probably hits about 100 degrees. Or it definitely does feel like it. It's a very tough machine. But the only thing is, it does rattle a bit at 1600 RPM, and the shocks aren't exactly the best. But it is miles better than that piece of shit candy. And so yeah, I've basically hated the candy since day one. But really, if you're outside of this room when it's spinning at about 800, maybe 1000 RPM, you can barely hear it. And anything maybe above that, you can kind of hear it. And then 1600 RPM, and because we're sitting on a raised floor, which isn't a concrete floor, it's like a regular raised floor in a house. If it was on a concrete floor and it had some soundproofing, you would basically, it would just not be possible to hear it through, this door maybe at 1600 RPM. And I gotta say, for, maybe about £300, this is a budget monster. We got it from Appliances Direct. The guys were very nice. In fact, they did have a look at the little collection of my machines, actually. So, yeah. There's a little update on the washer dryer. It will be coming back at some point. And it won't be the same colour, because the machine that you saw in that first video where I basically just pressed the door and lock button and opened the door and showed it off a little bit, you're not going to see that same colour because that was spring almond, whereas the new WV23, well, I call it the new one, it's the same machine. In fact, it's exactly the same. I never even bought a new machine. I'm just literally painting it a different colour. But the thing is, I don't understand why the washing community is so pissed off at me, because really, it's a factory colour. But I'm over that little bit of controversy now. And they're saying it was never meant to be almond. I'm just thinking, well, you don't like the colour of a car, then why not change it? The classic car community isn't going to be as pissed off of, probably if it's like a Ford Mustang, Fox body or something like that, or, maybe a nice old Rolls Royce, some sort of Rolls Royce, or say a Lamborghini Countach, or maybe a Ferrari F40. You change the colour, and if it isn't ridiculous looking, then, people aren't going to get pissed at you in the classic car community, really. But with a washer, you don't like almond, you change it to white, and it's vintage, and you're in a community, they beat the shit out of you in the comments section. And to be honest, I couldn't give a crap, because, it's my washer. I paid with it, I paid for it with my own money. So, what are you going to do about it? Well, here's the thing. I got kicked out of Service Wash for, even though it's been explained to me a million times, I still can't remember why the hell I got kicked out of Service Wash. And just don't tell me in the comments, because I don't want to hear about it, to be honest. The thing is, though, this monster, it's so quiet. I can't believe how silent it is. I mean, the candy sounds like an earthquake. The second you spin the drum by hand, it's the loudest machine. Even by spinning it by hand. I mean, with this machine, you cannot hear that motor unless it's at about 1000 RPM or more, maybe. Whereas Zachary, you can kind of hear him outside. You can sort of hear him through the door when he's just washing. But with this machine, it has to hit about 1000 RPM before you can hear it outside the door. It really is an incredible monster. Has anybody done a thermostat test with the auto clean cycle? Just to see how hot it really gets, because I don't know if it's been done before, if anyone's actually done it themselves and what the actual maximum temperature got to on the door glass. But if, if no one's done it, I think I'm going to do it because I'm wondering, because I've never felt anything that hot through the door glass on any machine apart from this one. So I gotta say, I'm very, very impressed with it. And for, I've still got the transit bolts there. See, look at these. They're a lot thicker transit bolts than the Candy. The Candy are thin as hell. The Candy ones are thin as fuck. And these don't come apart, I don't think. So, or at least they don't come apart easily. So I think it's a bit better. But the only thing is, you don't really get an instruction manual anymore, which I wasn't too pleased about. But, whatever. I've still got little bits there. I've still got, like, the energy sticker, which I I think if I if I still have the Candy manual, I'm gonna get some Tipex, and I'm gonna wipe out the A triple plus, and I'm gonna put F on. I'm gonna put D on there, and then I'm just gonna write instead of Candy, I'm gonna put crap, and then no one cares on the model number. And then I'm gonna Tipex this out and put 4 on there. I'm gonna Tipex all this out. I'm gonna put like a ridiculous number on there. I'm gonna Tipex this out. I mean, it's not on this one. It's if I can find the one for the Candy. And then I'm gonna Tipex all this out. I'm gonna put loud enough to shatter your ears, and same on there. And then what I'm probably gonna end up doing is I'm gonna ask my mum and dad if the machine's getting scrapped, and if they say that it really is, because I don't know what we're gonna do with it right now, but it's just sitting in the garage doing fuck all, so whatever. But I think what I'm probably gonna end up doing with it is putting the transit bolts in and wrecking it, because it's gonna be funny as hell. The Smart Touch flies. What about that title? It does make a very, very slight knocking noise. In fact, I can only just about hear it. I'm a bit deaf. I'm half deaf in both ears, so my hearing's not exactly the best, but I can definitely still hear everything sort of sloshing around in there. And I have to say, I'm very impressed with this monster. Look at this thing. Look at that action in there. I know the wall program does that at about 40 degrees, but come on. You gotta at least have like an intensive 60 option, where it does sort of a bit faster than sort of the regular agitation speed. It's sort of just enough to pick the clothes up and drop them down a few inches. Not exactly like proper distribution speed, but something along those lines. But yeah, my first impressions with this monster is I'm very, very impressed with it, I must say. But here's another little problem, is if you turn it off after it's been on nearly any wash cycles and right in the middle of it, and you turn it back on, it sort of messes itself up, where you can add an extra rinse on every program, even the spin. And the Smart is just stuck on Auto Plus. Now, usually it's I pause it, turn the program dial, and restart it, and it'll be and I'll do that a couple of times, and it usually just sorts itself out. I mean, it's not too much of an issue. It was just that I was doing a load of, And just don't tell me that I did this, that I'm wrong on this, because I know. But I decided to put a double bed sheet in there, along with 3 thin polo shirts, like cotton polo shirts on on the auto clean program. And because the machine's shocks are, well, they're a bit stiffer than the Candy, I gotta tell you. And but they're not well, they're quite stiff, but they're not exactly stiff enough, sort of. They're a lot better than Candy, though. But the machine was distry washing like it's doing now, but I could just about hear it tapping off the side. I mean only just. And I just thought, it's going to start banging in a minute, so I'm just going to stop the program. I decided to whack it on some rinsers because it was already really hot by the time time everything started getting to a point where it was threatening to bang. So it was threatening to start slapping around the cabinet. So I decided, right, let's just turn it off and turn it back on again. And then all that malarkey happened, where I tried to put it on a rinse, and it just got stuck on Auto Plus, and it wouldn't advance through the programs. But I thought, let's just try this. First impressions, turn it off, turn it back on again. That didn't do anything. Started it again, I paused it, turned the program dial a couple of times, restarted it, and it didn't do anything. Stopped it, turned it off again, turned it back on again, played it, paused it, turned the dial once more, and played it, and it just went on. It just went straight to it. So I think it could be a little bit of a glitch with the circuit boards, but I don't care. It's absolutely brand spanking new, and I love it. Oh, and by the way, if you want a really, really long boil wash, go for Performance Plus with the Smart Tech system, because it is nice. If anyone's considering buying a Candy, go to a mental hospital, please, because nobody in history has ever said that Candy was good. Well, no one before I think 2003. Let's just say that. Candy are crap in almost every single thing, and that's truth. I learned that, and I'm going to post a video of the ultimate wobbly. That's what I'm going to call it. I've done that on Facebook, done that on Instagram, done that on Snapchat, and I'm going to do it on YouTube in a minute. So, thank you for watching, guys. And this is a new monster in the house that's going to be staying until it dies. And I will see you guys later. Peace.